I'm continually amazed at how unprepared Carolyn Leavitt seems for her role as a spokesperson. Her entire job is to defend Donald Trump and repeat his talking points, yet somehow she manages to make things even more confusing each time she tries. Her main task is simple: present Trump as confident, capable, and strong. But time and again, her messaging falls apart. And this latest example might be the most embarrassing one yet, because a series of her private text messages reportedly leaked, revealing anger, frustration, and plenty of contradictions that don't help Trump's image at all. We'll break down exactly what was exposed, including her repeated false claims about Trump's supposed success in ending the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. But first, if you're enjoying this channel and want to help support independent coverage, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. All right, let's start with one of Carolyn Leavitt's most recent statements on television, where her version of events once again didn't match reality.
Lying. Oh, we're not funding illegal immigrants. Yes, they are.
They are. Their continuing resolution that they proposed to keep the government open included a poison pill that would have undone what President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill did, which is to restrict illegal aliens from receiving Medicaid benefits. President Trump fixed that in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and Democrats want to take it away because they want these taxpayer-funded benefits to continue to go to illegal aliens in our country. This has been done for the past 4 years under the Biden administration, and the American people roundly rejected it. And you hear AOC, who is apparently the new leader of the Democrat Party in that CNN town hall, say to a concerned American when that American asked, "Do you want my taxpayer-funded benefits going to illegals?" She said, "That's a Republican talking point. Those aren't the real issues Americans are facing." That is a lie. If you look at what happened under the Biden administration, real Americans, elderly citizens, were facing an increase in wait times at hospitals and emergency care centers across the country because they were putting last in line, and illegal aliens were getting that care and that treatment first. And when illegal aliens get medical treatment in this country, who's paying for it? The American taxpayer. Well, not anymore under the Trump administration. That's why this administration is focused on deporting illegal aliens who violate our nation's laws. And we're going to protect the rights and the benefits of tax-paying, law-abiding American citizens.
I've said this before, and I'm standing by it. Every time Republican leaders or commentators spread misinformation about undocumented immigrants, I'll be here to set the record straight with facts, not fear. Here's the truth they don't want to hear. Undocumented immigrants contribute over $100 billion in taxes every single year, primarily through payroll taxes. That money helps fund Medicare, Social Security, and unemployment benefits, programs that most undocumented workers can't even access themselves. They're not taking from the system, they're helping sustain it. Immigrants built this country, they continue to support it, and they are part of what keeps our economy moving forward. That's why it's frustrating to see public figures like Carolyn Leavitt misrepresent these facts on television. Her attempts to paint Donald Trump as strong or decisive simply don't hold up, because his record shows otherwise. When challenged, Trump often targets vulnerable groups, immigrants, people of color, and the LGBTQ+ community, instead of showing real leadership. That pattern stems from insecurity, not strength. Even world leaders like Volodymyr Zelensky have publicly pointed out this weakness, calling out Trump's approach toward figures like Vladimir Putin as deferential rather than strong. And that context is key to understanding what Carolyn Leavitt was reportedly saying in those leaked messages. But before we break that down, let's first listen to what President Zelensky himself had to say.
President Trump's success with Israel and Hamas was that he applied pressure to all sides. Does President Trump need to get tougher with President Putin?
Yes, and even more, because Putin is something similar but more strong than Hamas. It's more bigger war, and he is the second army in the world, and that's why more pressure.
So the stage is set. We know that Carolyn is an annoying liar. We know she cannot prop up Donald Trump's weekend at Bernie's body at this point to make him look like a tough guy because Zelensky is calling him out. We even saw reporting recently that there was a fight in the White House between Zelensky and Trump. A swear-filled rant because Zelensky is pointing out the fact that Donald Trump is once again caving to Putin. He is doing it all over the place. In that was the contents of Carolyn Leavitt's text, which weren't just leaked, they were leaked by her, and it was completely humiliating. And we're going to take a look. Carolyn Leavitt shares hostile text messages with far-left hack reporter. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt on Monday shared a screenshot of a text exchange in which she called HuffPost reporter SV Date an unserious far-left hack and asked him to stop sending his disingenuous, biased and questions. Leavitt posted the screenshot of the text exchange on X a few days after the Date published a story titled "White House Gives Wild Response to a Simple Question Asked by HuffPost Reporter." Date in the story reported, Leavitt responded, "Your mom did." When he was asked who suggested Budapest for an upcoming meeting between Donald Trump and Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, his story questioned the selection of the Hungarian capital, since Putin had violated the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, where Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in exchange for Russia respecting its territory. A deal that was obviously violated by Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. 3 days after Date's story was published, Leavitt on Monday shared a longer look at the Your Mom exchange. Here is what those messages said. According to her screenshot of her text date, is the president aware of the significance of Budapest? In 1994, Russia promised in Budapest not to invade Ukraine if it gave up nuclear weapons it inherited when the Soviet Union dissolved. Does he not see why Ukraine might object to the site? Who suggested Budapest? Thanks, Leavitt. Your mom did. Date. Is this funny to you? It's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journalist. You are a far-left hack who nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They just don't tell you that to your face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and questions. Yes. Carolyn Leavitt tweeted this out from her official account. Date responded to her Twitter post 20 minutes later at 11:20 a.m. and said, "Feel better now. Now you can answer the question, please, and thank you." So, aside from Carolyn Leavitt proving her absolute stupidity, along with Donald Trump's absolute stupidity and the absolute stupidity of everyone in this administration, God, they're stupid. She also just shows the disdain she has for the purpose of her job. She is the press secretary. She is supposed to engage with the press. Carolyn Leavitt started her very first day by saying, "I promise and I pledge on the love in the tweets of the dear leader that I will always deliver the truth, and I will fill my face with Botox and always highlight my hair so it's nice and blonde for Donald." And has she lived up to anything except the bad makeover? Number. Carolyn Leavitt does not speak the truth. She does not engage with journalists. Why? Because she hates them. She hates the First Amendment. She hates freedom of speech. She hates that journalists in this country can push back against the dear leader, at least for now, while it's legal. And you know what? Let's make it clear. Carolyn Leavitt hates America. Donald Trump hates America. They hate our values. They hated No King's Day because it was pushing back against their authoritarian takeover. And I talked about this in a way that I think more people need to in a video with the Bulwark responding to Donald Trump quite literally pooping all over America. And I want to take a listen to what I had to say. Little plug for my friends at the Bulwark, you should watch our weekend episodes. Let's take a look right here. And he's in a fighter jet. That's great. And we're dropping on New York. Okay? This is great. There's Harry. And now he's covered in feces and Times Square. Wonderful poop. This is the President of the United States, and he's dropping on New York City. Are we serious right now? Because it's starting to feel like some people in power don't even like this country. They just like controlling it. I'm exhausted by this double standard. When a Democrat like Gavin Newsom makes even a mild criticism of another state, it becomes a national controversy. But when Donald Trump insults major U.S. cities like New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago, calling them disasters or hellholes, Republican leaders just shrug it off, pretending not to notice. And that's exactly what millions of people across the country stood up against during the No Kings protest. We weren't out there because we hate America. We were out there because we love it enough to demand better leadership. Despite what spokespersons like Carolyn Leavitt claim, calling peaceful protesters criminals or extremists, we know the truth. Opposition to corruption and authoritarianism doesn't come from hate. It comes from hope and conviction. I don't need to be paid to criticize Donald Trump. I do it because accountability matters. And the person who summed it up best was Senator Bernie Sanders, speaking at the protest yesterday when he said this.
The Republican Speaker of the House called these rallies Hate America events. Boy, does he have it wrong. Millions of Americans are coming out today not because they hate America. We're here because we love America. We're here because we're going to do everything we can to honor the sacrifices of millions of men and women who over the last 250 years fought and sometimes died to defend our democracy and our freedoms.
These people continue to dodge accountability while punishing anyone who dares to push back. It's outrageous, and it needs to be called out. And that's exactly what we're going to keep doing on this show. If you want to support that mission, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share this video. If you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.